Hello viewers, today I'm doing a little bit delayed intro because I forget to do the intro when the engine which we're going to work with came. So the thing that we're going to do is probably going to be 2 or 3 series about this swap, but we're going to install a M62 TU, which is, I believe TU is for technical update, and we're going to swap it. We're going to do a conversation in a E36. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially for me, hopefully for you also. So this is how it came. Not actually, I already removed the LPG from the car. This is all the wirings, the LPG control unit and stuff. We're going to need to figure out how to cock up the intake manifolds, the hose from the LPG. So this engine have been through a lot. Everything is so sucked with old oil and stuff that it's going to need a very good cleaning for sure. So the things that we are not going to need, because this is a swap and you're going to remove all the emissions related stuff. Some of the things is this air valve which goes straight to the exhaust system, which we don't need. What else? Yeah, this is, I believe, was for the petrol gases, which once again it's going to be thrown away. The other thing which we're going to do is to remove the CCV system, oil separation system. We're going to bypass it for sure. We don't need this. We're just going to use a separate oil reservoir which is going to catch all the oil vapors. We are at this point right now. We had a lot of struggle with this 2 threads here and here. Actually I haven't removed even this, but most of the time these threads, these bolts here on this flange between the both heads are getting bad, so the 2 both end threads always get stuck, and it was so hard to remove it even with the engine out. Imagine how hard it's going to be when the engine is inside the car, because here is the firewall and you don't have a lot of access, so it's a terrible job to do. So I'm going to continue digging for the timing chains. I'm going to still try to figure out something to the alternator, because I don't want to use this water cooled alternator. These are really unreliable and most of the time you're going to have some coolant leakage from it, so that's why I'm going to try to fit just a regular alternator here. Yeah, we're going to change some of the pulleys, of course the water pump, the thermostat. Of course we're going to use a performance thermostat which is working on around 90 degrees, because the original one is opening at around 105 degrees, which is crazy. For sure everyone which has this engine, this should be one of the first things they should do, to buy a normal thermostat with a normal operating temperature. This is the both solenoids for the valve system. They are working only on the intake side, so we have single valves, let's say, on every cylinder head. And yeah, little by little I'm going to dig inside the engine and we're going to see what we're going to find. Okay, so brief update. I have disassembled the open and some other bits and stuff. The alternator, the hydraulic pump. This is the alternator. The interesting thing on this M62 balance is that the alternator is installed on the timing chain cover, which is this one, and it goes inside here, and it has a seal because inside is circulating the coolant from the engine, which is, in my opinion, not the greatest design. But we're going to try to figure out something to go with water cooled alternator to air cooled alternator. We're going to figure out something. Here inside it looks like all the old V8 engines. It's cooked up pretty good with old engine oil. And yeah, the other classical stuff is that you're never going to have a V8 with all the 6 spark plugs to be all the same. As we can see, we have 6 iridium and 2 regular spark plugs. Probably he had some misfire on these 2 cylinders, that's why he changed only 2 spark plugs, classical stuff, and the other 6 one are looking terrible. So for sure we're going to change all the 8 spark plugs. Okay, so on the top pretty much almost everything is disassembled, yeah, except the valve covers. And we have this sump, let's say, which is sealing the connection between the water pump and the thermostat housing along here to the rear of the engine. Okay, so in the end of the day we have decided to remove the cylinder heads. The main reason that we have decided that is because we saw that the previous owner have changed the water pump plus the coolant temperature sensor. And most of the time when you see an engine which is sold with these two things changed, you're going to think yourself that he had some issues with overheating. He have tried to fix it, but probably he haven't managed to do it. So that's why we have decided to remove the cylinder head, service them, especially the valves. We have decided to do it mainly not only because of that, but because we want to take pretty much almost the maximum horsepower that this engine can deliver by reseating the valves. This is the other reason that we have decided to remove them. And right now all the valves are reseated, the cylinder heads are resurfaced, and as you can see both of them are resurfaced with to 0.1 millimeter. As we can see, this one also, they have the same warpage. So yeah, pretty much I'm ready to reinstall them. This is the new cylinder head gaskets. We are going to use the usual thickness, which I believe was 2 millimeters. I need to recheck, but I believe it was 2 millimeters. So I'm going to reinstall them. Here are all the valves, the hydraulic valves, the camshafts and everything else needed. So yeah, I'm not going to go in details. I'm just going to show you how to time up the engine in the next video, but just want to show you that this is a pretty good idea when you are doing a swap like this to service your cylinder heads, because this is going to deliver you the maximum horsepower and torque from this engine when you do this. Okay, so pretty much the cylinder heads are installed, both of them, with the camshafts, with the caps and everything. Now I'm going to probably try to figure out how to install the oil pump, because on E36 you cannot use the oil pump from X5. So we have bought an oil pump from E38, and now I'm going to try to figure out how to install it, so to be able to use the new oil sump which we have bought. Okay, from the manual we have to cut this stud which is holding the main bearings, so now we're going to cut it, so to be able to install the oil pan. So this was on our way of the oil pan, so now we're going to try to fit it once again. Okay, so we are worrying that the oil pan is a little bit curved, so as you can see here, the movement, it has this swag. So we are not sure, is it going to seal with only silicone? We're going to try, of course, but it looks that the gap is way too much that it should be, in my opinion. So as you can see here, how much is opened up. So we really hope that it's going to seal up, but if not, we're going to need to remove everything. We're going to try, of course. For the manual, they are stating that we should exchange these bolts, this one and this one, so the stud should come in this location, and also this pipe we should tap it with M8 plug. So I'm going to need to make a M8 thread here and make a plug, so to not lose any oil pressure. And yeah, here is the supply for the T-pipe. So this is the T-pipe which we should install here. It should go, let me show you, it should go exactly here. And this is the attachment to the oil pump. This is why we need to remove this stud from here, because it's on the way of the T-pipe. Now I'm going to show you what we have done to this piece of the oil pump. Yeah, I need to take a drill press for this, because with my driller I cannot do it smooth as possible, but still this is only for removing the wall for the C-clip, and they are stating that it's only for easier installation. It's not end of the world that it looks so ugly. And actually they have forget to send us this sleeve which we have installed, so we need to do it by ourselves. Also this aluminum plug, so they forget to send us the sleeve and this aluminum plug. The sleeve is from stainless steel and the plug is from aluminum, and this should be installed here. Yeah, it should go here, exactly here, because this is not going to be needed anymore. Previously here was installed the supply of the engine, so here we had a pipe and we have removed it right now, and because the oil pump is going to be oriented on the opposite side, we are not going to need this anymore, so that's why we're going to need to install this plug. And actually they are stating that we need to remove the O-ring from here. As we can see right now we have an O-ring, so we need to remove it and place the C-clip. So we need to install this C-clip
in the groove of the O-ring, and this is going to hold the aluminium hook in place, and we are not going to lose oil pressure like that when we install it here. And this is the modification which we have done to fit the oil pump. Let me install the oil pan once again and show you. Okay, the idea is to fit this piece of the oil pump right here. And for this reason we have trimmed out some of the body plus this part of the shaft where the shaft is moving. So we managed to fit it, and as we can see on the oil pan we have two nuts here and here. And this means the oil pump is going to be held only on two places. So down here, you can see we have trimmed here, 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 and this rivets here. Let me show you, we have one more pump here, exactly the same, just to show you the difference between both of them. So this is the pump before the trimming, and this is after the trimming. So as we can see, we have removed here the stud and this rib, the whole rib here. So this is how much we have trimmed out. We have trimmed a lot to make it fit. The thing that I had some consideration is that because the engine is from X5, we cannot use the pump from this engine, because let me show you the difference in the both pumps. So this is the pump from X5 and this is from E38. As we can see, they are completely different bodies. So this is how it looks like. So this is the shaft which is moving the gear, and as we can see, they are completely different. So the only way to go is to use an oil pump from E38 or E39, E32 or E34. So this is why we took this, but actually if you take a closer look on the number of the pump here, and if you type it in Google, you're going to see that with this number, this pump is related to M73, which is V12. After searching for a lot of time, it turns out that we have found one seller which was 100% sure that he have removed this pump exactly from V8, E38 V8. He have removed it single-handedly, and he was pretty sure that it is from V8. And yeah, I doubt he's going to lie us, because we know him, so we are pretty sure that this is from V8. But still, in the manual, the pump looks a little bit different. I don't know why, but still I think it's going to work out. So once again, you're going to need to trim it out to make it fit here. We have tightened up the bolts, they are holding there. You're going to need to take the shaft with the rotor, and you're going to need to press this rotor down until you have exactly between 70.4 and 70.9 millimeters. I'm going to measure it like that. So we are at around 70.9, exactly at the end clearance, still in spec. I have checked it, so let me show you what I mean, why is this important. Now I'm going to start the rotor with the shaft. The body of the pump is tightened up, so this is the location, and now I'm going to install the chain with the gear, and we're going to see how it is aligning with the gear of the crankshaft. Okay, so as you can see, the chain is pretty much aligned with the gear of the crankshaft, and this is why you're going to need to press down your rotor on the shaft, because if you don't do it, the alignment is going to be off, and you're going to have some mismatch with the crankshaft gear. And as you can see, we are pretty much aligned. And about the tension of the chain, it looks kind of okay in my opinion. Most of them are with this looseness, so it should be okay, I believe. So I'm going to do it like that, and going to show you what we have done to the other piece of the oil pump. Okay, so you're going to need to drill out this hole with 18mm, so to be able to install the sleeve, which they have forget to send us. And on the other side, you're going to need to drill it with 20mm drill bit. So we bought this 18 and 20 drill bits. So to be able to drill it, yeah, it does look very good, but this is only for installing these O-rings a little bit easier. It's not going to seal up or anything else. And the important thing is this sleeve to be at exact height as this wall of the oil pump. As you can see, they are pretty much on the same height. So this is important, and when you install this, yeah, I'm installing it without the O-rings, because if you install it with the O-rings, it's kind of hard. In our case, it's going to sit like that. So we're going to see how it's going to sit in the engine, but this is the idea of this. Okay, so I tap in the aluminum cap, but turns out that is maybe a little bit too much than needed. So as you can see right now, the C-clip is kind of loose. So I'm going to try to tap it out a little bit. Okay, so on the place of this pipe, we're going to do a turret which is going to be M8, and from the kit we have a tap which we're going to install here. So let me do the turret and I'm going to show you the tap that we're going to install here. So about the spring for the pressure regulator, this is the both springs which should be identical from the both pumps, but as you can see I have modified a little bit mine. So the left one is mine, and the right one is the old one from the other pump, and it's a little bit dark. But I have removed around 2.5 millimeters from the spring which we're going to use, or at least they are recommending to do this. So this spring, as you can see, I have trimmed it out a little bit, as I told you, around 2 millimeters, 2.5, and it goes like that. And they are suggesting that this length of the spring which is getting out of the sleeve should be between 4.5 and 5.5 millimeters. So in our case is around 5.5. You think, hopefully. So 5.5 millimeters. So I'm going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to install the cap, which is here, and I'm going to install the C-clip, which is going to hold the spring in place. Pretty much we are ready with all the modifications of the oil pump. Now I'm going to assemble it for the final time. We had some issue with this T-pipe, and the issue was that the pressure cylinder, let's call it, was not getting all the way down. So let me show you a little bit close view. So right now we have modified it. We have sacrificed the drill by cutting it like that. It has some indentation inside, and it was not letting the cylinder go all the way down. So it was sitting like that. And after we cut it a little bit, now it's sitting like that. So as we can see, the marks from the old oil, how it was sitting before, it was something like that. Sitting like that, it was not a good option, so that's why we cut it a little bit and we made it go like that. So after that, I need to redo the spring. Right now is how much? Around 5 millimeters out of the sleeve. Now we're going to work it with this cap and the C-clip. И сега къде ще стане платняка да го сложат, а?
Няма пуска. 10 атмосфери да му пуснеш, не мога да го изставя. Между
Okay, so the cap and the C-clip is installed. I'm going to show how to install the oil pump. You're going to need to install it with the oil pan all together. There is no other way to do it. So now let's install these pieces. As I told you, I have put some pressure on this cap. I have beat it up little bit, and now the C-clip is stuck here. And yeah, the sleeve is installed. I made this, it's a little bit ugly, but I was wanted to be sure 100% that this sleeve is getting all the way in to this sleeve here. So that's why it's ugly, because I need to make it much bigger than the suggested one. Let's first install it in here. So the rotor came like that with the dot facing downwards. Most of the time on the BMW pumps the dot is facing upwards. Not sure why this is like that, but I'm going to assemble it like I removed it. And pretty much should not be big of a deal. And now I'm going to try to install this T-pipe. I have removed one of the rings because it was kind of impossible to fit the both rings in this channel. One of it was got damaged all the time, so I decided to install it only with one ring. Actually, from the manual they are claiming that these O-rings are only for vibration purposes. They are not sealing up anything, so it's not end of the world if we damage the O-ring. So even with the silicone grease, it's not so easy to install it. Okay, I hope it's all the way in. Even it's not end of the world, because it is going to fix itself when we install the oil pump on the oil pan and this gets in the cylinder box. So pretty much this is the oil pump modification. Once again, we're going to have job trimming out this part of the pump. You're going to need to modify this channel, the T-pipe, the sleeve, and this top here. So yeah, we're pretty much ready to install the open. And yeah, let me show you the top which we made to not lose pressure on the crankshaft. So as we can see here, right now we have installed the top, which is M8, and is provided from the kit. So we have put it with some thread locker, blue thread locker, so it should hold pressure. And here, down here, is the inlet for the T-pipe. So yeah, pretty much we are ready. We have changed this stud once again from the other side, and the oil pump is going to be held only with 2 bolts. I know in the manual there is a pump which is held here also, but our pump cannot go here. It's not so long. I don't know why is that, but we are going to hold our pump only with 2 bolts, and hopefully it's going to hold good, because we cannot find anything else oil pump wise.